Hello guys, you're welcome again to another After Effects tutorials, and today I want to show you how you can create a motion banner or flyer like this one. So support me on this one. Do not forget to like the video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and then turn on the notification bell. Come back, let's get started. Now in Adobe After Effects, I'm going to create a simple composition. Feel free to use your own settings and make sure it is 10 seconds for the duration, and then hit OK. We're going to right click on the timeline and create a new solid layer. So this we're going to call flash background, or call it flash BG. So then you hit OK. We're going to add a fractal noise to this. Now we're going to make some changes to this. So switch this panel to Effects and Control. For the fractal type, we're going to change it to Dynamic Progressive. And the noise type, we're going to select the spline. We're going to change the contrast to 220. Let's make the brightness to -80. Expand the transform properties right here and change the scale to 3000. Hold down the Alt key and click the stopwatch to the left of the evolution property. Then we're going to enter this time expression, time asterisk 1000. And now this is what we have. We have a flashing light on the BG. So we're going to add one more effect to this layer. We're going to add the colorama effect. So now let's collapse this fractal noise property so that we can see the colorama options. So expand the output cycle. We're going to choose from the list of the presets right here. We're going to select the ramp red option. Now if you preview now, this is what you have, a flashing red background. So now it is time to import our logo. We're going to switch this panel to effects, from Effects and Control to our project manager window. Then we'll collapse all these options right here. So navigate to where you have your product, not logo, sorry. So navigate to where you have your product, drag and drop it into the project manager window. Then we're going to have this, then you drag and drop it into the timeline, and we're going to have this, hit S on your keyboard to scale down. Of course, this will depend on what you have in your own case. I'm going to just make this 30. So I'm going to hold down Control and Shift C to pre-compose. Make sure you name this the product holder, and then move all attributes to the new composition and then hit OK. By the way, I got this product sample from freepik.com. It's an amazing website. You can check them out. And by the way, if you also want to download this project file, it's a template. I can give it to you for free, but subscribe to my YouTube channel. Then you follow me on X, the former Twitter, at SSB Otaru. Then you send me a DM on X and I will respond to you. Make sure you follow me before you DM me, because I don't think I have the setting turned on to receive message from non-followers. So with that out of the way, let's continue. So we're going to right click on the timeline again, go to new and select a solid layer. This time around, we're going to name this simply BG for background. Then we hit OK. We're going to add a fill color. Then drag this to the bottom of the hierarchy. We're going to have this. Then you select this eyedropper tool here and pick the darker side of this product. So we're going to be selecting all our colors from this product. So I'm going to choose something here. Then I'll select this fractal BG and then change the mode to screen. I will hit T on my keyboard with this fractal BG still selected and set the opacity value to 50. Select your product and then move your time indicator to 2 seconds forward in time. Then hit P on your keyboard and set a keyframe for the product position. Then hold down Shift and then hit R to bring up the rotation property. Then set a keyframe. Then come back right here and rotate the product to -45. Now we're going to pull the position all the way down so that we can no longer see the product. Then select all the keyframes. Then hit F9 on your keyboard to easy ease, or you simply right click, go to keyframe assistant, and then select easy ease. So we're gonna go into the graph editor and edit the speed graph like this. If you preview now, this is what we have. Amazing. Let's proceed to create the remaining parts of our banner. So I'm going to make sure no layer is selected. I will go to this primitive shapes and select the polygon tool. So I'm going to hold down shift key and control to draw a perfect polygon at the center. This is okay. Expand the polygon option right here and change the polystar points to 3. That will make this a triangle. Then I will go to the rotation. This is what we had in the beginning of the tutorial, something like this. I think it's a little bit bigger than this, so I'm going to change the scale. I'll just scale this down, this up a bit. Yes, somewhat like this. So hit P now on the keyboard so that we'll continue with the positioning. Hold down shift key and R and bring out the rotation, and also set a keyframe for that. So we're gonna come to 1 second forward in backward in time and set the rotation like this, and then move the position downward. Easy ease these keyframes and also edit the speed graph. Now if you play, this is what we have. Beautiful. So we're gonna just simply move the triangle below the product, rename this to main triangle. This is to keep everything organized. So now I'm gonna duplicate this triangle layer, Ctrl D on the keyboard to do that. So I will change the fill property to none and set the stroke to a color. I'll just simply go with white or somewhat gray, and I'll change this to 3. That is the stroke width. So I will hit UU on my keyboard to reveal more of the options. On this add option right here, I'm going to add a trim path option. And I'll move my time indicator to about this point where everything is completely coming up, and set a keyframe for the trim path option on the end property. Then I'll also set a keyframe for the offset, and then I'll move my time indicator back to 0 and send the end value to 0, and then set the offset to -2. I'll hit U to reveal the keyframes. Then I will highlight the keyframes and easy ease, pick up this last keyframe and move them to 3 seconds. So now if we preview, this is what we're gonna have. Beautiful. So I'm still gonna duplicate the main triangle one more time. Then on this one, I'm gonna remove all the animation. We hit UU to reveal all the options. I'm gonna go into the polystar transformation option and expand that and change the scale. I'll look for the scale property right here. I will just increase the scale to somewhat like this. This is okay. Then I'm also going to change the color. So I will select the fill color and pick the eyedropper tool right here. I'm going to select the color on the player headphone here. Like I told you, we're going to be using the colors from the headphone. So with still this selected, I'm going to set a keyframe for the scale. Then I will hit U to reveal only this keyframe. I will move this keyframe forward in time and look for where this is about completing. I will set the scale value to 0 layer, I eased the keyframe and then edited the speed graph. So I'm gonna select this and do the setting. So I wanna do the timing right now. So I want to make sure immediately this is finishing, the scale is coming up. So I'm just gonna select the both keyframes and move it inward to achieve that. Beautiful. I think this is okay, just a tiny bit. I'll adjust it more. Beautiful. So at this point in time, make sure no layer is selected. We're gonna pick the pen tool. We're gonna temporarily set the fill to none so that we can see what we are doing, and then leave the stroke color right here. So pull back. So we're gonna draw a line on this point. So make sure no layer is selected. Draw your first point right here and go to this point and draw the second one. Then make sure you draw another one to cover all of this space. Select the shape and set the fill to a color. Any color right here will do. And make sure the stroke is set to none. So what we're going to do now is to parent this current shape we have here. Make sure your time indicator is at the point where the entire animation is complete. So pick Webbit to the main triangle. That will make it a child of the triangle. So that way, if the animation is happening, it is also following. You get the point now. That is it. So we're gonna select the product layer and set the track matte to alpha matte. That way it will cut out the part. Let me feed this to screen so that you can see it. This will cut out some part of the product. It will look like the product is coming out of the triangle. If you play this now, you will see what I'm talking about. Beautiful. But I'm gonna offset this by 15 frames so that it will slow down. The angles will come out first so that you can see that properly. Beautiful. Beautiful. So select all layer, Ctrl A on your keyboard, hit U to hide all the properties. So what we're gonna do now is to select this flash BG and duplicate it and move it to the top of the entire hierarchy, and then change the color for the colorama. I'm going to collapse this so that I can see that. Expand the input cycle. I'm going to change this red to somewhat blue or green. In your own case, you can choose any color you want. So I'm going now with this light blue, and then I will hit OK. This will make us have a blue flash on top of the product. You see that? So looking at this, the blue flash is all over the place and we can no longer see the red flash at the background. So to fix that, I'm going to duplicate the bottom triangle layer here. I'll move it to the top. I'll set the track matte for this second flash duplicated layer to that, to alpha matte that layer. Now you see the blue flash only happens on top of the product and the inner triangle, so we can still see the background flashing. Beautiful. Now it is time to add our graphics, that is our text. So I will right click on my timeline, go to new, and then select the text option. I will type in what I want and then arrange it on the screen and come back to you so that we can get into animate it. Feel free to use whatever your text is. Now we have all the text arranged here. I have some of the features for this product. Let's quickly start with this. So I'm going to select these new elements and text that I have just added. I'll select all and move back just by 1 second or 15 frames right here, so that I will have it coming later. Beautiful. So I'm going to start with the bottom text, which is this one right here. I will hit UU on my keyboard to reveal the text property. On this animate, I'm going to go in and add position property. Then on this add option right here, I'll add a property of opacity. I'll move the position to this point and then set the opacity value to 0. On the range selector, I'm going to expand that and set a keyframe for the offset. I'll move the keyframes to this point right here, set value to 100 at 2 seconds. If you preview now, this is what you have. We have this happening by words. So I'm going to change that, hit UU to expand more of the properties. Then we're going to expand the range selector right here and go into the advanced tab. Then based on, I'm going to change the based on from characters to words. That way, if you preview now, you have something like this. Beautiful. I'll pick my pen tool and make sure no layer is selected. I'll just simply draw a mask. Any color we do right here. So I'm just gonna simply change the color so that I'll see what we are doing. So I'll move that mask to that part of the text. I'll move it right above it and set the track matte to alpha inverted. We have this, we have our text cutting out. So what we're gonna do now is to select the text and the rest of this and move it a bit outward like this so that we can see it completely. So that is happening too quick. So we're gonna arrange that later, but let's animate this first. Select this. Also go to this 2-second mark, then hit scale, hit S for the scale and set a keyframe for the scale. Then I'm gonna turn off this, the uniform scale, and scale the y-axis to 0. And then I'll move the keyframe to this point and then make the y-axis 100 again. So I'll hold down Shift key and then hit P on my keyboard to set a keyframe for the position. I'll then go back to this point and then move the position downward. If you play back now, this is what you have. Beautiful. So I'm gonna simply duplicate this. Ctrl D on the keyboard to do that. Then I'll move it above the superior text layer. Then I'll set the track matte of the superior text to alpha matte. Superior text is selected at 3 seconds right here. I will hit P on my keyboard to set a keyframe for the position. And then I'll move back to this point and move the position upward. Now this is what you have, but we're gonna arrange this right now. We'll first want this shape to come up first before the text. So we're gonna pull back this inward a bit and then select the 3 of them and move it back a bit. Beautiful. I want that to come up with the triangle. So for this thicker letter, I'm gonna move it back so that it will come in later. So let's move it back so that it will come up at this point. So if you preview now, this is what you have. Beautiful. And that is it. I simply just repeated the same process I used to animate this text at the left side and also implemented that on the right side, and then duplicated the first option I have and then type in as much option as you want. You can do more than 3. So, and this is the result after doing that. And that is it, guys. This is how you can animate a motion banner in Adobe After Effects. If you learned something new on this video, please hit the like button that will enable the algorithm to suggest this to more people. If you have any question, please feel free to ask me in the comment section, and I'll reply to all questions as quick as I can. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can support me in any way. You can give me super thanks, subscribe to my membership, whatever way you want to support me with. Even if you share the video, that is also a huge support and it is highly appreciated. If you like the video, leaving a comment is all a support. So with whatever way you are able to support me, I highly appreciate you. So until I see you again on the next one, my name is SSB Otaru from MotionDigit Studios.